Introduction. There is a voice in your head. It speaks to you every single morning. It tells you to hit the snooze button. It tells you to skip the gym because you are too tired. It tells you to stay quiet in the meeting when you actually have a great idea. It tells you that tomorrow is a better day to start than today. That voice is not your friend. That voice is the weakness inside you. And right now that voice is winning. This audiobook is not about being perfect. It is about understanding that your own biology and your own fear are trying to keep you small. We are going to look at the facts of why you feel weak, and then we are going to kill that weakness with action. You are going to learn how to fight back. Let us begin. Before we dive into the first chapter, I have a question for you. I want you to be honest with yourself and with the community listening to this. What is the one goal you have been scared to start, and what is the excuse you have been using to avoid it? Leave a comment below with your answer. Writing it down is the first step to destroying the excuse. Pause the audio if you need to, and write it now. Chapter 1. The Biological Trap. You are not lazy. I want you to understand this very clearly. You are not lazy by nature, you are a survivor. But the problem is that your survival instincts are outdated. They are destroying your success in the modern world. To kill the weakness inside you, you first have to understand where it comes from. You have to understand the machine that is your brain. Most people think that weakness is a character flaw. They think they lack willpower or that they were just born without drive. This is false. The truth is that your brain is designed to keep you safe, and it is designed to save energy. This is a biological trap. Let us look at the science of your brain. Scientists have a concept called the triune brain. To keep it very simple, imagine you have two brains fighting each other inside your skull. First, you have the ancient brain. Scientists call part of this the amygdala. We can call it the lizard brain. This is the part of you that has been around for millions of years. Its only job is to keep you alive. It cares about food. It cares about safety. It cares about reproducing. It is terrified of the unknown. Then you have the modern brain. This is the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of you that wants to build a business. It is the part of you that wants to get six-pack abs. It is the part of you that wants to write a book or learn a new language. This is the human side of you. Here is the problem. The lizard brain is stronger and faster than the human brain. When you feel fear or stress or discomfort, the lizard brain takes over the steering wheel. It hits the brakes. Let me give you a real fact about biology. Humans evolved in a time when food was very scarce. You did not know when you would eat your next meal. So, your body evolved a mechanism to save energy. This is called the law of least effort. If your ancestors ran around burning calories for no reason, they died. So nature wired you to be lazy. Nature wired you to sit on the couch. Nature wired you to eat high sugar and high fat foods because they have the most energy. When you are lying in bed and you know you should get up and run, but you feel a heavy weight keeping you down, that is not you being a loser. That is your biology doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is trying to save calories. It is saying, do not run. Running burns energy. Stay here. Stay safe. Save the energy. But we do not live in caves anymore. We live in a world of abundance. You do not need to save calories. You need to burn them. You do not need to hide from tigers. You need to hunt for success. Your biology is mismatched with your reality. This is why comfort is so dangerous. Comfort feels good because your lizard brain loves safety. But comfort is where dreams go to die. Every time you choose the easy path, you are feeding the weakness. You are reinforcing the biological trap. Let us talk about another chemical trap. It is called dopamine. You have probably heard of it. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in your brain. Many people think it is the pleasure chemical, but that is not entirely true. Dopamine is the molecule of more. It is the chemical of craving. It drives you to seek things. In the past, dopamine made you go out and hunt for berries or hunt for animals. It was the fuel for action. Today, the world has hacked your dopamine system. When you scroll through social media, every video and every picture gives you a tiny hit of dopamine. When you eat a sugary donut, you get a massive spike of dopamine. Here is the scary part. When you get cheap dopamine for free, you lose the drive to work for it. Why would your brain want to work for 3 hours to finish a project when it can get the same chemical reward by scrolling on a phone for 3 minutes. You are training your brain to be weak. You are training your brain to expect a reward without the effort. This is the biological reality. You are fighting against millions of years of evolution, but you are not a slave to your DNA. You have a choice. You can override the system. Now we are going to talk about how to break this trap. We are going to move from principles to action. You need actionable steps to kill this biological weakness. The first action step is what I call the manual override. You cannot wait to feel like doing the work. You will never feel like it. The lizard brain will never give you permission to do something difficult. You have to interrupt the pattern. There is a simple technique that works with your neurology. It is counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. When you feel the hesitation, when you feel the weakness creeping in, you must count backwards. Why does this work? It works because it shifts activity from your emotional brain to your logical brain. Counting requires focus. It wakes up the prefrontal cortex. It creates a small window of opportunity where you can take control. If you are in bed and the alarm goes off, do not think. Do not negotiate. If you start thinking, the lizard brain will talk you out of it. It will say just 5 more minutes. It will say it is too cold outside. Do not give it a chance to speak. As soon as you hear the alarm, count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand up, physically move your body. Motion changes emotion. This is a scientific fact. You cannot think your way into a new way of acting, but you can act your way into a new way of thinking. The second action step is to remove the friction of starting. We talked about the law of least effort. Your brain wants to do the easiest thing. So you have to make the good habits easier and the bad habits harder. If you want to go to the gym in the morning, do not wait until the morning to find your clothes. If you have to look for your socks and your shoes and your shirt, that is friction. Your lizard brain will use that friction as an excuse to quit. You must prepare everything the night before. Put your shoes by the bed. Sleep in your gym clothes if you have to. Make it so easy that it requires more effort to not go than to go. On the other side, you must add friction to your weakness. If you waste time on your phone in the morning, do not sleep with your phone next to your bed. Put it in another room. Put it in the kitchen. Make it annoying to get to. If you want to stop eating junk food, do not have it in the house. If you have to drive to the store to get ice cream, you probably will not do it. If it is in your freezer, you will eat it. You have to be smarter than your biology. You have to design your environment to kill the weakness. The third action step involves understanding the concept of hormesis. This is a biological term. It means that a small amount of stress makes an organism stronger. If you lift a heavy weight, it stresses your muscles. The muscle fibers tear, but when they repair, they grow back thicker and stronger. You need to seek out voluntary stress. Most people run from stress. You must run towards it. A great way to do this is with cold water. I want you to try this. At the end of your shower, turn the water to cold. It does not have to be freezing, just cold enough to be uncomfortable. Stand there for 30 seconds. Your brain will scream at you. It will say, get out. It will say, this is stupid. It will say, I am cold. This is the weakness talking. When you stand in that cold water and you force yourself to breathe and stay calm, you are training your brain. You are telling the lizard brain that it is not in charge. You are the master of the vessel. If you can handle the shock of cold water, you can handle the shock of a difficult email. You can handle the stress of a public speech. You are building a callus on your mind. Let us look at a real study on willpower. It is often called the marshmallow test. In the 1960s at Stanford University, researchers put children in a room with a marshmallow. They told the child that if they could wait 15 minutes without eating the marshmallow, they would get a second one. If they ate it, they got nothing else. They followed these children for 40 years. The children who could wait, the ones who had the discipline to delay gratification, were more successful in every area of life. They had better health, they had better jobs, they had better relationships. The weakness inside you wants the marshmallow now. It wants the comfort now. It wants the sleep now. But the strength inside you knows that if you wait, if you put in the work, the reward is much greater later. You have to change your relationship with pain. Pain is information. When you are working out and you feel the burn, that is not a signal to stop. That is a signal that weakness is leaving the body. There is a concept in the Navy SEALs called the 40% rule. We will talk about this more in the next chapter, but the basic idea is that when your brain tells you that you are done, you are only 40% done. You have so much more fuel in the tank. The weakness is a liar. It tries to reserve 60% of your energy for safety. You have to tap into that reserve. Let us go deeper into the dopamine detox. This is a powerful tool. If you find that you cannot focus, it is because your brain is overstimulated. You need to reset your baseline. For one day, try to remove all cheap sources of dopamine. No social media, no video games, no sugar, no junk food. It will be boring. It will feel painful. You will feel restless. That restlessness is the weakness dying. When you are bored, your brain is forced to find something to do. You will find yourself picking up a book. You will find yourself cleaning your house. You will find yourself working on that project you have been avoiding. Boredom is the breeding ground for productivity. But we have killed boredom with our phones. You need to bring boredom back into your life to reset your biological drive. Action step number 4 is what I call the identity shift. You have to stop saying you are trying to change. You have to claim the new identity. Do not say I am trying to run. Say I am a runner. Do not say I am trying to stop smoking. Say I am not a smoker. Your brain constantly tries to align your actions with your identity. If you believe you are a lazy person, your brain will subconsciously sabotage you to prove you right. If you believe you are a disciplined warrior, your brain will push you to act like one. You have to lie to yourself until it becomes true. Stand in the mirror and tell yourself who you are. I am a person who does the hard things. I am a person who wakes up early. I am a person who eats clean. At first, your brain will reject it. It will say you are a liar. But if you keep saying it and you keep backing it up with small actions, the belief will shift. Let me tell you about the concept of activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required to start a reaction. Think of a match. You have to strike it against the box to get the fire. That strike is the activation energy. The hardest part of any task is the first 2 minutes. The hardest part of the gym is putting on your shoes. The hardest part of writing is typing the first sentence. The hardest part of running is stepping out the door. Once you start, the momentum takes over. It is physically easier to keep moving than to start moving from a dead stop. This is Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. You are that object. Your weakness wants you to stay at rest. You have to apply massive force just for the first few minutes. Tell yourself, I will just do this for 5 minutes. If you have to study, say I will just study for 5 minutes. Anybody can do 5 minutes. Once you start, the anxiety goes away. The fear goes away. The action kills the fear. The weakness inside you feeds on hesitation. The longer you wait to do something, the larger the fear grows. If you need to make a phone call and you stare at the number for 10 minutes, it becomes a monster. If you dial it immediately, it is just a phone call. You must become a person of immediate action. When you have a good idea, take one small step immediately. Send the email. Buy the domain name. Text the person. Do not let the idea sit. Ideas that sit rot. Let us review the backbone of this chapter. The weakness is biological. It is your ancient brain trying to save energy and keep you safe. It uses fear and comfort as weapons. It uses cheap dopamine to keep you sedated. But you have the tools to fight back. You have the manual override of counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have the power to design your environment to remove friction. You have the power to use voluntary hardship like cold showers to train your mind. You have the power to reset your dopamine. And you have the power of identity. This is a war. Every single day you wake up on the battlefield. Your pillow is a weapon used against you. Your phone is a weapon used against you. The weakness is cunning. It knows your insecurities. It knows exactly what to say to make you stop. But now you know its tricks. You know that the voice telling you to stop is just chemicals and electricity. It is not the truth. You are built for struggle. Human beings are not meant to sit in chairs for 12 hours a day. We are meant to move. We are meant to build. We are meant to conquer. Look at your hand. That hand is the result of millions of years of survival. Your ancestors fought saber-toothed tigers. They survived ice ages. They survived plagues and wars and starvation. They did not survive all of that, so you could sit on the couch and watch television. You have the blood of survivors in your veins. Weakness is an insult to your ancestors. When you feel that resistance, I want you to get angry at it. Get angry at the weakness. Why are you letting a feeling dictate your life? Why are you letting a chemical impulse stop you from achieving your dreams? You are the captain of this ship. You decide where it goes, not the weather, not the waves, you. The biological trap is strong, but your will is stronger. It requires constant maintenance. You do not just kill the weakness once. You have to kill it every single day. It resets every morning. When you go to sleep tonight, you have won the battle for today. But tomorrow, the alarm will ring again. The weakness will be there, waiting for you. It will be whispering in your ear, and you will look it in the eye and you will say no. You will count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you will get up. This is how you break the biological trap. This is how you take the first step towards strength. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about motivation. Most people think they need motivation to act. They are wrong. Motivation is a myth. We are going to explore the psychology of discipline and how to perform at a high level even when you feel absolutely nothing. But for now, your job is simple. Recognize the trap, see the lizard brain for what it is, and do not let it win. There are 24 hours in a day. That is 1,440 minutes. Do not let the weakness steal even one more minute from you. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. Chapter 2. Motivation is a myth. You have been lied to. For years you have been told that to achieve great things, you need to be motivated. You see videos of athletes screaming before a game. You see entrepreneurs talking about passion. You see movies where the main character hears a speech and suddenly finds the energy to win the fight. So you wait. You sit at your desk or on your couch and you wait for that feeling to hit you. You wait for the lightning bolt of inspiration. You wait to feel like working. I have bad news for you. That feeling is not coming. And if it does come, it will leave you as soon as things get hard. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings are temporary. They are like the weather. One minute it is sunny, the next minute it is raining. You cannot build a house only when the sun is shining. If you do that, you will never finish the roof. You cannot build a life only when you feel excited. If you do that, you will never finish anything. The biggest mistake people make is believing that they need to feel good to act. This is the wrong order. This is the trap. You do not need to feel good to act. You need to act to feel good. Let us look at the psychology of this. Most people operate on the model of feeling, then action. They check in with their emotions. They ask themselves, do I feel like going for a run today? The answer is almost always no. Why would you feel like running? Running is hard. It is uncomfortable. It makes you sweat. Your biology, as we discussed in the first chapter, wants you to rest, so if you wait for the feeling, you will wait forever. The people who win in life reverse this model. They operate on action, then feeling. They do the thing first. They put on the running shoes, they open the laptop, they make the phone call, and then something magical happens. Once they start, the feeling arrives. Think about a time you went to the gym when you did not want to. You dragged yourself there. You hated the drive, you hated changing your clothes, but then you started lifting or running. 10 minutes later, you felt blood pumping, you felt energy. By the end of the workout, you felt proud, you felt strong, you felt motivated. The motivation did not come before the workout. The motivation came as a result of the workout. Action creates momentum. You cannot think your way into a new mood. You have to move your way into it. This is the action first principle. If you want to change your state, change your body. If you feel sad, stand up straight and look at the ceiling. It is very hard to feel depressed when your physiology is strong. If you feel lazy, move fast. Clean your room aggressively. Do 10 push-ups. The motion creates the emotion. Now we need to talk about the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is logical. Motivation is doing what you want to do. Discipline is doing what you have to do, especially when you do not want to do it. Imagine a soldier in a war. Do you think they are motivated to charge into battle? Do you think they feel excited to be shot at? No, they are terrified. They are exhausted. They are likely cold and hungry. But they do it anyway. Why? Because they are disciplined. They have trained their minds to detach their actions from their feelings. You must become a robot in the best possible way. A robot does not have days where it feels sad. A robot has a command, and it executes the command. You need to look at your calendar as a set of commands. If the calendar says 6 a.m. gym, you go. It does not matter if you are tired. It does not matter if it is raining. It does not matter if you are sad. The command is executed. This brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in the world of high performance. It is called the 40% rule. This concept comes from the Navy SEALs, the toughest military unit in the world. The rule is simple. When your mind tells you that you are done, when your mind tells you that you are completely exhausted and you cannot take another step, you are only at 40% of your actual capacity. Let me repeat that because it is vital. When you feel like you are going to die from effort, you still have 60% left in the tank. Why does this happen? It is your brain acting as a governor. Think about a car. Some cars have a speed limiter or a governor installed. The engine can go 150 miles per hour, but the computer limits it to 100 miles per hour for safety. Your brain has a governor. It limits you to keep you safe. It limits you so you do not use up all your energy reserves. But you can override the governor. You can remove the speed limiter. There was a famous story about a Navy SEAL who ran a 100-mile race. He had not trained for it. By mile 50, his feet were broken. He was bleeding. His kidneys were failing. His brain was screaming at him to stop. He sat in a chair and taped up his feet. He told himself that he was not going to quit. He stood up and he ran another 50 miles. How is this physically possible? It is possible because the human body is capable of 10 times more than the human mind believes. When you hit the wall, that wall is just a mental barrier. It is not a physical one. When you are studying and you feel like your brain is full, that is the 40% mark. Push past it. Read 5 more pages. When you are running and your lungs burn, that is the 40% mark. Run 1 more mile. This is how you callous the mind. Every time you push past the 40% mark, you expand your limits. Next time, the wall will be further away. You are stretching your potential. But you have to be careful with your energy in a different way. We need to talk about decision fatigue. Every single day you have a limited amount of decision-making power. Think of it like a battery bar on your phone. You start the morning with 100% battery. Every time you make a choice, you lose a little bit of battery. Should I wear the blue shirt or the red shirt? Battery down. What should I eat for breakfast? Battery down. Should I answer this email now or later? Battery down. Should I go to the gym or skip it? Battery down. By 2 p.m., your battery is red. This is why most people make bad choices in the evening. They cheat on their diet at night. They skip the gym after work. They watch TV instead of working on their side business. It is because their decision muscle is tired. High performers know this. So they eliminate decisions. Look at successful people like Barack Obama or Mark Zuckerberg. They are famous for wearing the same clothes almost every day. Why? Is it because they have no style? No. It is because they do not want to waste their battery on choosing clothes. They save their decision power for the things that matter. You need to automate your life to kill the weakness. Do not wake up in the morning and ask yourself what you should do. That is a trap. If you ask the question, the weakness will answer. It will say, go back to sleep. You should have a routine that is non-negotiable. You wake up, you drink water, you put on the clothes you laid out the night before. You go to the gym. No thinking allowed. You are on autopilot. When you remove the choice, you remove the weakness. Weakness lives in the hesitation. It lives in the moment where you weigh the options. Do not give yourself options. There is only one option: execute. This is the difference between an amateur and a professional. An amateur waits for inspiration. An amateur wants the conditions to be perfect. They want the house to be quiet. They want the coffee to be hot. They want their mood to be right. A professional knows that conditions are never perfect. A professional shows up and does the work regardless. Stephen King is one of the most successful writers in history. He writes every single day of the year. He does not wait for the muse to whisper in his ear. He sits down at his desk and he types. He says that the muse knows where to find him because he is in the same place every day from 8 a.m. to noon. You have to treat your life like a job. Even if it is your personal fitness or your hobby, treat it with professional respect. If you had a boss who paid you $1 million to show up at the gym, would you miss a day? No. You would be there early. You would work hard. Well, you are the boss. And the payment is not cash. The payment is a better life. The payment is a body you are proud of. The payment is a mind that is bulletproof. Why do you treat yourself with less respect than you would treat a boss? Stop negotiating with yourself. This is a key principle. When the alarm goes off, there is no negotiation. The meeting has started. Let us talk about the concept of the second wind. This is not just a saying, it is a physiological reality. When you exercise, you burn available sugar in your blood. When that runs out, you feel a crash. You feel like you have hit a wall. This is where most people quit. But if you keep going, if you push through that pain for just a few minutes, your body switches fuel sources. It starts burning fat. It releases endorphins. Suddenly, you feel light again. You feel powerful. You have caught your second wind. Life works the same way. Life works the same way. The project gets hard in the middle. The relationship gets hard in the middle. The diet gets boring in the week 3. This is the crash. Most people quit here. They jump to a new project. They jump to a new diet. They are always starting and never finishing. You have to understand that the crash is the gatekeeper. The crash is there to test you. It is asking, do you really want this? If you can push through the boredom and the pain, you will find the second wind on the other side. The other side is where the glory is. Motivation is for starters. Discipline is for finishers. Anyone can start. Starting is exciting. You buy the new gear. You tell your friends you feel great, but starting is easy. Finishing is lonely. Finishing is hard. Finishing is where the weakness tries to kill you. You need to fall in love with boredom. Success is not a montage in a movie. In a movie, the training scene lasts 2 minutes. In real life, the training lasts 10 years. It is waking up every day and doing the same push-ups. It is eating the same chicken and broccoli. It is writing the same words. It is making the same sales calls. It is boring. But the boredom is the path. If you can handle the boredom, you can have anything you want. People say they want to be a millionaire, but they do not want the boredom of saving money. They do not want the boredom of reading financial reports. They do not want the boredom of working on weekends. They want the lifestyle, not the life. To kill the weakness inside you, you must embrace the grind. You must look at the boring task and say, this is where I win. When others quit because it is not fun anymore, that is when I start. Here is a practical tool for you to build this discipline muscle. It is called micro-commitments. If you set a goal that is too big, your brain will reject it. If you say, I am going to run a marathon, your weakness says impossible. So start small, ridiculously small. Make a commitment to do 1 push-up a day, just 1. Anybody can do 1 push-up. It requires almost no motivation. But here is the trick. You are not allowed to miss. On the days you are sick, you do 1 push-up. On the days you are tired, you do 1 push-up. What are you doing? You are building the habit of keeping your word to yourself. You are teaching your brain that when you say you will do something, it happens. Over time, that 1 push-up becomes 10. Then it becomes a gym membership. Then it becomes a lifestyle. But it starts with the discipline of the small thing. If you cannot be trusted to do the small things, you cannot be trusted with the big things. If you cannot keep your room clean, how can you run a company? If you cannot control what you put in your mouth, how can you control a team of people? Everything is connected. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you are lazy in your relationships, you will be lazy in your business. If you cut corners in your workout, you will cut corners in your finances. Kill the weakness in the small things, and the big things will fall into line. Now, I want to address the voice of excuses, the voice that says, I am too tired. Let us look at that statement. I am too tired. Unless you have been working manual labor for 16 hours, you are probably not physically tired. You are mentally drained, you are bored, you are uninspired. There is a difference between being tired and being depleted. Sleep fixes tired. Sleep does not fix depleted. What fixes depletion is purpose. What fixes depletion is winning. Have you ever been exhausted after a long day at work, and then a friend calls you to go to a party or a concert, and suddenly you have energy? Where did that energy come from? You were just saying you were tired. The energy came from excitement. It came from a change of state. You were not out of fuel. You were just in a low energy state. When you feel tired, that is the weakness trying to trick you into the biological trap we talked about in Chapter 1. Do not listen to it. Test it. Say to yourself, I will just go to the gym for 10 minutes. If I am still really tired after 10 minutes, I will go home. I guarantee you 99% of the time, once you start moving, the tired disappears. The fog lifts. You realize it was a lie. You have to be aggressive with your own mind. You have to interrogate your feelings. When you feel fear, ask yourself, is this real danger or is this just discomfort? When you feel tired, ask yourself, do I need sleep or do I need a win? Discipline is the highest form of self-love. This might sound strange. We usually think self-love is taking a bubble bath or eating a piece of cake. That is not self-love. That is self-indulgence. That is feeding the weakness. Real self-love is doing the things that make your future self better. Real self-love is skipping the cake so you can be healthy. Real self-love is going to bed early so you can crush the next day. Real self-love is studying when your friends are partying so you can have financial freedom. When you are disciplined, you are telling yourself, I love you enough to make sure you succeed. I love you enough to not let you fail. If you let yourself be weak, you are abusing yourself. You are robbing yourself of your potential. You are stealing from your future. Stop waiting for the world to make it easy for you. The world is hard. The world does not care if you succeed or fail. The universe is indifferent. It will not give you motivation. It will not give you a handout. You have to take it. You have to generate the energy yourself. You have to be the generator, not the battery. A battery runs out. A generator creates power as long as it is turning. Keep turning. Keep moving. There is a Japanese concept called Kaizen. It means continuous improvement. It does not mean giant leaps. It means getting 1% better every day. If you rely on motivation, you are looking for the giant leap. You are looking for the lottery ticket. Discipline is the 1%. Discipline is the compound interest of self-improvement. If you get 1% better every day, in a year you will be 37 times better. That is the math of success. It is not magic, it is math. But if you get 1% worse every day, you go to 0. Every day you skip the workout, every day you eat the junk, you are compounding in the wrong direction. You are never standing still. You are either growing or you are dying. You are either killing the weakness or the weakness is killing you. There is no middle ground. Let us talk about the people around you. Sometimes your lack of motivation comes from seeing others who are lazy. We will talk deeply about environment in the next chapter. But for now, know this. You cannot wait for your friends to get disciplined. You have to lead. Maybe you are the only person in your family who wants to be fit. Maybe you are the only person in your circle who wants to start a business. Good. Be the example. Do not wait for a running partner. Run alone. The wolf who climbs the hill is hungrier than the wolf sitting on the top of the hill. You have to stay hungry. When you achieve a goal, do not celebrate for too long. Celebration is dangerous. Celebration tells your brain that the work is done. The work is never done. There is always another mountain. There is always another level. If you lose 20 pounds, good. Now go for muscle. If you make $1 million, good. Now go for 10. If you read one book, good, read another. The moment you think you have arrived, you start to slide back. The weakness is patient. It waits for you to get comfortable. It waits for you to think you are a master. Stay a student. Stay humble. Stay disciplined. Remember the words of the ancient Stoics. No man is free who is not master of himself. If you are a slave to your impulses, if you are a slave to your feelings, you are not free. You are a passenger in your own body. Discipline is freedom. It sounds contradictory. How can strict rules make you free? If you have the discipline to save money, you are free from financial stress. If you have the discipline to eat right, you are free from disease and lethargy. If you have the discipline to work hard, you are free to choose your lifestyle. The undisciplined person is a slave. They are a slave to their debt. They are a slave to their health problems. They are a slave to their boss because they have no other options. Choose your hard. Discipline is hard. Regret is hard. Choose your hard. Waking up at 5 a.m. is hard. Being broke is hard. Going to the gym is hard. Being overweight is hard. Having difficult conversations is hard. Being in a toxic relationship is hard. You cannot avoid the hard. You can only choose which pain you want. I choose the pain of discipline. I choose the pain of growth because that pain has a purpose. That pain leads to glory. The pain of regret leads nowhere. It just hurts. So, tomorrow morning, when that voice whispers in your ear, when it says it is too dark, when it says you deserve a break, when it says you can start on Monday, you will recognize it, you will know it is the weakness, you will know it is a lie, and you will not wait for motivation. You will not ask yourself how you feel. You will count. You will move. You will act. You will embrace the suck. You will do it because it is hard. You will do it because you said you would. You are a machine. You are a warrior. You are the master of your fate. Kill the weakness with action. Kill the weakness with consistency. Kill the weakness with discipline. In the next chapter, we are going to look outside of you. We are going to look at the people you spend time with. We are going to talk about the mirror effect and why your environment might be the anchor holding you down. You can be the most disciplined person in the world, but if you are swimming in a sea of toxic people, you will eventually drown. We will learn how to cut the rope. But for now, focus on you. Focus on your actions. The feeling will follow. Chapter 3. The mirror effect. You can have the discipline of a monk. You can have the biology of an Olympic athlete. You can have the best plan in the world. But if you are standing in a room full of people who are sick, eventually you will get sick. If you are standing in a room full of smoke, eventually you will smell like smoke. This is the law of the environment. We have talked about the war inside your head. We have talked about the biology of weakness and the psychology of discipline. Now we must look outside. We must look at the world you live in and the people you let into your life. There is a hard truth that you need to accept right now. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. You might win the battle against a bad habit for one day or 1 week, but if your environment supports that bad habit, eventually you will crumble. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. This chapter is about the mirror effect. It is about how your brain is wired to copy the people around you. It is about why your friends might be the reason you are failing. And it is about the courage to walk alone. Let us start with the science. In the 1990s, a group of neuroscientists made a discovery that changed how we understand human behavior. They discovered something called mirror neurons. These are special cells in your brain. Their job is to bridge the gap between you and other people. When you watch someone do something, your mirror neurons fire as if you were doing that same thing. If I watch you eat a lemon and I see your face scrunch up, my brain fires the same neurons as if I were tasting the sour juice. I feel your experience. This is the basis of empathy. It is how we learn. A baby learns to smile by watching its mother smile. A baby learns to walk by watching its parents walk. But here is the danger. Your mirror neurons do not know the difference between good behavior and bad behavior. They just copy. They are recording machines. If you hang out with people who complain all the time, your mirror neurons are practicing complaining. You might not say anything, but your brain is rehearsing the neural pathways of negativity. Eventually, you will start complaining. You will not even notice it happening. It will feel natural. If you hang out with people who eat junk food, your brain normalizes that behavior. It signals that this is what humans do, this is safe, this is normal. So when you try to diet, you are fighting against a deep program that has been installed by your observation of others. You become what you see. You become what you hear. There is a famous saying by the motivational speaker Jim Rohn. He said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." I want you to pause and think about the 5 people you see the most. Write their names down in your mind. Are they fit? Are they wealthy? Are they happy? Do they have good relationships? Are they ambitious? If the answer is no, then you are in trouble, because you are the average. If your 5 best friends are broke, you will be the 6th broke person. It is almost mathematically impossible for you to be a millionaire if you spend every weekend with people who hate money and have bad spending habits. If your 5 best friends are out of shape and lazy, you will be the 6th. You might try to go to the gym, but they will say, "Come on, stay here." They will say, "Let us order pizza." They will make fun of you for trying, and slowly, the gravity of the group will pull you back down. This brings us to a concept called the crab bucket theory. This is a real phenomenon observed in nature. If you put a single crab in a bucket, it will easily crawl out. It will use its claws to hook the rim and pull itself to freedom. But if you put 10 crabs in a bucket, something disturbing happens. As soon as one crab tries to climb out, the other crabs grab its legs and pull it back down. They will fight it. They will drag it back into the misery of the bucket. If the crab keeps trying to escape, the others might even break its claws or kill it. Why do they do this? It is not because they want to escape too. It is because if one escapes, it proves that escape is possible. It highlights the failure of the ones who stay. Human beings are crabs. When you try to improve your life, when you try to kill the weakness inside you, the people around you will get uncomfortable. They will not applaud you. They will try to pull you back down. They will use cynicism. They will say things like, "Why are you working so hard?" They will say you have changed. They will say, "Do not think you are better than us." They are pulling you down because your strength reminds them of their weakness. Your discipline attacks their laziness. Your success is a mirror that shows them their failure. And nobody likes to look at their own failure. It is painful. So instead of rising up to meet you, they try to drag you down to their level. This is not because they are evil people. They might be your family. They might be your childhood friends. They love you. But they love the old you. They love the weak you. Because the weak you fits into their world. The strong you breaks the pattern. You have to be prepared for this. When you start this journey of killing the weakness, you will face resistance. And the hardest resistance will come from the people closest to you. You have to make a choice. Do you want to be loved by the crabs, or do you want to be free? You cannot have both. If you want to fly with the eagles, you cannot scratch with the chickens. It is a cliché, but it is true. You have to audit your circle. This is an actionable step. You need to do a life audit. Look at every person in your life and categorize them. Category 1 are the anchors. These are the people who hold you down. They are always negative. They gossip. They complain about the government, the weather, their boss, their spouse. They have no ambition. They drain your energy. After you hang out with them, you feel tired. You feel heavy. Category 2 are the engines. These are the people who push you forward. They are doing things. They are talking about ideas, not people. When you tell them a goal, they do not laugh. They ask how they can help. They challenge you. After you hang out with them, you feel excited. You feel like anything is possible. You need to cut the rope to the anchors and you need to attach yourself to the engines. This is the hardest part of self-help. It is easy to wake up early. It is easy to take a cold shower. It is hard to break up with a friend you have known for 10 years. It is hard to tell your family that you cannot come to the dinner because they are toxic. But you must do it. You do not have to be cruel. You do not have to make a big dramatic scene. You just have to withdraw your attention. You stop answering the phone every time. You stop saying yes to the invites. You start being busy. You start protecting your time like it is gold, because it is. Some people ask, but what if I have no engines in my life? What if everyone around me is an anchor? Then you must learn to walk alone. Solitude is dangerous for the weak, but it is powerful for the strong. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fill the silence with noise. They fill the empty space with bad company. They would rather be with people they dislike than be by themselves. This is weakness. You must learn to sit in a room by yourself and be happy. When you are alone, you are not infected by the mirror neurons of others. You are free to build your own program. You are free to listen to your own thoughts. If you do not have high-level friends in real life, you can find them in other places. You can be friends with the greatest minds in history through books. When you read a book written by a billionaire or a philosopher or a great leader, you are spending time with them. Your mirror neurons are firing based on their words. You are downloading their operating system into your brain. If you listen to this audiobook, you are spending time with a mindset of strength. If you listen to podcasts of people who are winning, you are surrounding yourself with winners. Digital environment is just as important as physical environment. Look at your phone. Look at your social media feed. Who are you following? Are you following people who make you feel jealous? Are you following people who post drama and gossip? Are you following accounts that distract you with nonsense? That is your environment. You carry that environment in your pocket 24 hours a day. Action step. Unfollow everyone who does not make you stronger. Be ruthless. If an account does not educate you, inspire you, or help you make money, unfollow. Clear the noise. You need to curate your feed so that when you open your phone, you are slapped in the face with motivation. You see people working out. You see people building businesses. You see quotes about stoicism. You are hacking your mirror neurons. You are tricking your brain into thinking that everyone in the world is successful and disciplined. When your brain sees that, it will say, "Oh, I guess this is what we do now," and it will reduce the friction to work. Let us talk about the concept of norms. Every group has norms. These are the unwritten rules of behavior. In a group of fit people, the norm is to eat healthy. If you order a greasy burger, you are the weird one. You feel social pressure to order the salad. That social pressure is good. It is working for you. In a group of lazy people, the norm is to overeat. If you order a salad, you are the weird one. They will mock you. The social pressure works against you. You need to put yourself in environments where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to get fit, join a CrossFit gym or a running club. You do not even have to make friends at first. Just be there. Just stand in the room. Watch them. Let your mirror neurons soak it in. Being the least fit person in the room is the best place to be. You will catch up. If you want to be a writer, go to a library. Go to a workshop. Be around people who are writing. If you want to make money, go to networking events. Go to places where money is discussed. You cannot become a lion if you are living with sheep. You have to go to the jungle. There is a biological reason why it is so hard to leave the tribe. In ancient times, if you were kicked out of the tribe, you died. You could not survive alone in the wilderness. So your brain is wired to feel intense anxiety when you separate yourself from the group. This is why you care so much about what people think. This is why you are afraid of judgment. It is a survival mechanism. Your lizard brain is screaming, "Do not leave them. We will die." But that is a lie. You will not die if you leave your toxic friends. You will not die if your family disagrees with your choices. You will live, and you will live better. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. This is the price of greatness. If everyone understands you, it means you are being average. Exceptional people are always misunderstood by average people because they are playing a different game. They will call you obsessed. They will call you workaholic. They will call you selfish. Let them talk. You are not building your life for their approval. You are building it for your own respect. Let us discuss the concept of energy vampires deeper. These are people who constantly need reassurance. They are the victims. The world is always against them. If you try to help them, they reject your help. They say, "Yes, but yes, I could apply for that job, but the economy is bad. Yes, I could go to the gym, but my knee hurts." They have an excuse for everything. They do not want a solution. They want attention. They want to drag you into their drama. You must identify these people and build a wall. You cannot save them. This is a very important lesson. You cannot save everyone. You can only save yourself. If you jump into the water to save a drowning person who is panicking, they will climb on top of you and drown you both. You have to let them go. It sounds cold, but it is necessary. Preserve your energy. Your energy is your currency. You need it to build your empire. Do not spend it on people who throw it in the trash. There is a subtle way the environment affects you called the broken windows theory. This comes from criminology. They found that if a building has a broken window and it is not fixed, soon all the windows will be broken. If a street has graffiti and trash, crime goes up. The environment signals that nobody cares here, so people act badly. Apply this to your own home. Is your room messy? Is your car full of trash? Is your desk cluttered? If your physical environment is chaotic, your mind will be chaotic. A messy room signals to your brain that you are undisciplined. It lowers your standard. Clean your room. This is not just advice from your mother, it is psychological warfare. When you clean your space, you are creating an environment of order. You are telling your brain, "We are organized here. We take care of things here." This makes it easier to focus. It makes it easier to be disciplined. Everything matters. The clothes you wear matter. If you dress like a slob, you will feel like a slob. If you dress with respect, you will act with respect. The mirror effect is not just about other people, it is about what you see in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, do you respect the person looking back? If not, you need to change your actions until you do. Let us go back to the concept of the average of 5. What if you want to help your friends? What if you want to bring them with you? You can try, but you have to set a deadline. Give them the book, send them the podcast, invite them to the gym. If they say no 3 times, stop asking. If they do not change after a month, move on. You cannot drag a dead body to the top of a mountain. It is too heavy. You will die trying. The best way to help them is to succeed without them. When they see you 6 months later, and you are fit, and you are happy, and you are making money, that is the most powerful argument. Your results will scream louder than your words ever could. Then, maybe, they will ask you how you did it. Then you can help them. But you have to get to the top first. You have to be selfish to be selfless. You have to work on yourself first, so that you have something to give. Now I want to talk about a very specific type of toxic environment, the workplace. Many of you hate your jobs. You work with people who are miserable. You have a boss who is a tyrant. This is a huge part of your life. You spend 8 hours a day there. If your workplace is toxic, you have to leave. I know it is scary. I know you need the money, but you have to make an exit plan. You cannot stay in a poison environment for 40 years and expect to be healthy. It will grind you down. It will kill your spirit. Use your hatred of the job as fuel. Wake up earlier. Work on your skills. Build your side hustle. Save every penny so you have a freedom fund. Every day you walk into that office, tell yourself, I am just a spy here. I am undercover. This is not my permanent reality. I am plotting my escape. This mindset shift protects you. It creates a mental barrier between you and the toxicity. You are not one of them. You are just passing through. Do not engage in the office gossip. Do not complain at the water cooler. Be professional, do your work, and get out. Your real life begins when you clock out. Let us summarize the power of the mirror effect. Humans are mimicking machines. We copy what we see. If you see weakness, you will be weak. If you see strength, you will be strong. You have the power to curate your reality. You are the curator of your life museum. If a painting is ugly, take it off the wall. If a person is toxic, remove them from the scene. It requires being disagreeable. It requires saying no. It requires hurting feelings sometimes. But remember the goal. The goal is to kill the weakness inside you. And the weakness inside you loves company. It loves the anchors. It loves the comfort of the crowd. You have to step out of the crowd. Look at a pack of lions. They stick together. They hunt together. They are strong together. Now look at a herd of gazelles. They stick together too. But they stick together out of fear. They stick together hoping that the lion eats the guy next to them and not them. Which group are you in? Are you in a group bonded by strength and ambition, or are you in a group bonded by fear and safety? Find your lions. If you cannot find them, be a lone lion until they find you. There is a magnetism to strength. When you start working on yourself, when you start vibrating at a higher level, you will attract new people. The old friends will fall away, and new friends will appear. People who are on the same mission as you. Trust the process. The void left by the toxic people will be filled by quality people. But you have to create the void first. You have to empty the cup before you can fill it with fresh water. Do not be afraid of the empty space. Do not be afraid of the Saturday night with no plans. Use that time to build. Every great person in history had a period of wilderness, a time when they were alone, a time when nobody believed in them. This is the forge. This is where the steel is tempered. If you are lonely right now, I want you to reframe it. You are not lonely. You are in the forge. You are being shaped. You are being prepared for something bigger. Do not run out of the forge back to the comfort of the herd. Stay in the heat. Let it burn away the weakness. This is the mirror effect. You are responsible for what you see. You are responsible for who you hear. Take control of your inputs. The output will take care of itself. If you fill your mind with trash, your life will be trash. If you fill your mind with gold, your life will be gold. Look around you right now. Look at your room. Look at your phone. Look at your contacts list. Is this the environment of a winner? Is this the environment of a champion? If the answer is no, start cleaning, start deleting, start moving. You do not need permission. You do not need to explain yourself. This is your life. Defend it. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about pain. We are going to talk about callousing the mind. We are going to explore why friction is necessary for growth, and how to turn suffering into power. We will look at how to become anti-fragile. But before you can handle the pain of growth, you must stop the pain of toxicity. Clear your soil. Prepare the ground. The growth is coming. Chapter 4. Callousing the Mind. We have spent a lot of time talking about your biology and your friends and your habits, but now we need to talk about the most important part of this entire journey. We need to talk about the texture of your soul. We need to talk about calluses. Most of you know what a callus is on your hand. If you work in a garden or if you lift heavy weights at the gym, the skin on your palms begins to change. At first it is soft, then it gets red and sore. You might even get a blister. If you stop working, the blister heals and the skin stays soft. But if you keep working, if you keep rubbing that skin against the rough handle of the shovel or the cold steel of the barbell, something amazing happens. Your body realizes that the environment is harsh. It realizes that the soft skin is not enough to protect you, so it sends resources to that area. It builds up layers of thick and tough skin. That is a callus. Once you have calluses, you can work for hours without pain. The friction no longer hurts you. The friction actually makes you stronger. Your mind works exactly the same way. Most people in the modern world have what I call a soft mind. Their mental skin is thin and sensitive. Every little bit of friction causes them pain. If someone says something mean to them, they get a blister. If the internet goes out for an hour, they have a mental breakdown. If they have to work 10 minutes past 5 o'clock, they feel like they are being tortured. This is because they have spent their entire lives seeking comfort. They have avoided friction. They have lived in a world of air conditioning and soft beds and instant food. They have never had to build a mental callus. And because they are soft, the world breaks them. To kill the weakness inside you, you must learn to callous your mind. You must learn to seek out friction. You must learn to love the things that hurt. Because the things that hurt are the only things that can change you. Let us start with the science of this. There is a word you need to know called neuroplasticity. For a long time, scientists thought that the brain was fixed. They thought that once you became an adult, your brain stopped changing. They thought you were stuck with the personality and the habits you already had. We now know that this is completely wrong. The brain is like plastic. It is always changing. It is always rewiring itself based on what you do. When you do something difficult, your brain releases a chemical called acetylcholine. This chemical is like a marker. It tells the brain that something important is happening. It tells the brain to pay attention. When you struggle to solve a math problem, or when you push through the final set of a workout, your brain is signaling that it needs to change. It is creating new connections between neurons. This is called growth. Here is the secret that most people do not understand. Struggle is the signal for growth. If it feels easy, you are not getting better. If you are comfortable, your brain is staying the same. You are just repeating old patterns. To improve your mind, you must be in a state of friction. You must be in a state where you want to quit. That is the moment when the most change is happening. Think about a diamond. A diamond is just a piece of coal that handled stress exceptionally well. It was buried deep under the earth. It was subjected to thousands of pounds of pressure and intense heat for millions of years. That pressure turned the soft black coal into the hardest and most beautiful stone on earth. You are the coal. The world is the pressure. You can either let the pressure crush you into dust, or you can use it to become a diamond. So how do we do this in real life? How do we callous the mind? We do it through a concept called voluntary hardship. Voluntary hardship means doing things that are hard on purpose, even when you do not have to. Most people only do hard things when they are forced to. They only run when someone is chasing them. They only work hard when they are about to get fired. This is reactive living. Reactive living is weak. To be strong, you must be proactive. You must choose the struggle before the struggle chooses you. The first action step for callousing the mind is physical friction. Your mind and your body are not separate. They are one system. If your body is soft, your mind will be soft. If your body is hard, your mind will be hard. This is why almost every great leader and every high performer has a strict physical routine. I want you to pick a form of exercise that you hate. If you hate running, go run. If you hate lifting weights, go lift weights. The point is not the exercise itself. The point is the mental battle of doing something you do not want to do. When you are on that treadmill and your legs are burning and your brain is saying, "Stop," I want you to talk to your brain. I want you to say, "I see you, I hear you, but you are not in charge." Every second that you keep running after your brain tells you to stop is a layer of callus on your mind. You are training yourself to ignore the weakness. You are training yourself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Let us look at a real fact from history. There was a man in ancient Greece named Milo of Croton. He was one of the greatest wrestlers who ever lived. He won the Olympic Games 6 times. How did he get so strong? The story says that when Milo was a young boy, a calf was born near his home. Milo decided to pick up the calf and carry it on his shoulders. The calf was small and light. He did it every day. As the weeks went by, the calf grew into a bull. But because Milo carried it every single day, his body grew stronger. At the same rate, the bull grew heavier. By the time the calf was a massive bull, Milo was strong enough to carry it. This is the principle of progressive overload. You do not start by lifting a bull. You start with the calf. You start with the small friction. You wake up 10 minutes earlier than usual. You do 5 more minutes of work than you feel like doing. You take a cold shower for 30 seconds. As these small things become easy, you increase the weight. You wake up an hour earlier. You work on your business for 2 hours every night. You take a 5-minute ice bath. You are slowly building the callus. If you try to do everything at once, you will break. You will get a massive blister and you will quit. You must be consistent. You must seek friction every single day. The second action step is what I call the uncomfortable list. I want you to make a list of things that make you anxious. Maybe it is talking to strangers. Maybe it is public speaking. Maybe it is asking for a raise. Maybe it is admitting when you are wrong. These are the areas where your mind is soft. These are the areas where the weakness is hiding. You must attack these areas. One by one, you must do the things on that list. If you are afraid of talking to people, go to a coffee shop and start a conversation with the person behind the counter. It will be awkward. You will feel embarrassed. Good. That embarrassment is the friction. That is the feeling of your mental skin getting thicker. The more you do it, the less it hurts. Eventually, you will be able to talk to anyone without any fear. You will have a callus over that social anxiety. You will be free. The third action step is the practice of Stoicism. The ancient Stoics were masters of callousing the mind. They had a practice called premeditatio malorum. This is Latin for the premeditation of evils. They would sit in a quiet room and imagine the worst things that could happen to them. They would imagine losing their job. They would imagine losing their home. They would imagine the death of their loved ones. They would imagine going blind or losing a limb. This sounds depressing, but it is actually very empowering. By imagining the worst, they removed the power of fear. They realized that even if the worst happened, they could still find a way to be virtuous and strong. They were callousing themselves against the shocks of life. You should practice this. Once a week, spend 10 minutes thinking about how things could go wrong, not to be negative, but to be prepared. If you are prepared for the storm, the wind does not scare you. The Stoics also practiced something called poverty rehearsal. Once a month, they would live like they were poor. They would eat the simplest food. They would wear old clothes. They would sleep on the floor. They did this so they could say to themselves, "Is this what I was so afraid of?" They realized that most of our fears are imaginary. We are afraid of losing our comforts. But when we realize we can live without those comforts, the weakness loses its grip on us. We become dangerous. We become unstoppable. I want you to try a poverty rehearsal. For one weekend, live as simply as possible. No internet, no television, eat only rice and beans, sleep on the floor. At the end of the weekend, you will realize that you are still alive. You will realize that you are stronger than you thought. You will have a new level of gratitude for what you have and a new level of fearlessness about losing it. Let us talk about the theory of anti-fragility. This is a concept created by a man named Nassim Taleb. He says that there are 3 types of things in the world. First, there are fragile things. A glass vase is fragile. If you hit it with a hammer, it breaks. It hates stress. Second, there are resilient things. A piece of steel is resilient. If you hit it with a hammer, it stays the same. It can handle stress, but it does not get better. Third, there are anti-fragile things. These are things that actually get better when they are stressed. They need disorder and pressure to grow. Your body is anti-fragile. If you sit on the couch and do nothing, your muscles atrophy. Your bones get weak. You become fragile. But if you stress your body by lifting weights, it gets stronger. It needs the stress to function correctly. Your mind is also anti-fragile. If you live a life of perfect comfort, you become mentally fragile. You become a person who cries over a mean comment. You become a person who gives up the moment things get hard. You must choose to be anti-fragile. You must see every problem and every obstacle as fuel. When something goes wrong, I want you to say one word. Good. Your car broke down. Good. Now you have to learn how to fix it or figure out how to navigate the world without it. You are becoming more capable. You lost your job. Good. Now you have the freedom to find a better one or start your own company. You are being forced to grow. Someone betrayed you. Good. Now you know their true character and you have the chance to practice forgiveness and move on. You are becoming wiser. This is the ultimate mental callus. When you can look at a disaster and see it as an opportunity for growth, the weakness is dead. You cannot be defeated because everything that is used against you only makes you stronger. You are like a fire that gets bigger when the wind blows. Let us look at a real study on resilience. There was a study of people who survived extreme situations, like prisoners of war or survivors of natural disasters. The researchers wanted to know why some people were destroyed by the trauma, while others came out stronger. They found that the survivors had a specific mindset. It is called the Stockdale paradox. It is named after Admiral James Stockdale, who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for 7 years. He was tortured many times. He had no reason to believe he would ever go home. He said that the people who did not make it were the optimists. They were the ones who said, "We will be home by Christmas." Then Christmas would come and go. Then they said, "We will be home by Easter." Then Easter would come and go. Eventually they died of a broken heart. Stockdale said that to survive you must have two things at the same time. You must have the absolute faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties. And at the same time you must confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. This is how you callous your mind. You do not lie to yourself. You do not say that life is easy. You admit that life is hard. You admit that you are in a difficult situation. You look at the brutal facts. But you never lose faith that you are the type of person who can handle it. You say, "This is going to hurt. This is going to be a long struggle. I am tired and I am scared, but I will not quit. I will win." This is the language of a warrior. Most people are looking for a hack. They want a shortcut to success. They want a pill that makes them disciplined. They want a secret technique that makes work feel like play. There is no hack. There is no shortcut. The only way is through the fire. You have to do the work. You have to endure the pain. You have to face the boredom. If you are looking for the easy way, you are feeding the weakness. You are telling your brain that comfort is the goal. Comfort is not the goal. Growth is the goal. And growth and comfort cannot exist in the same place at the same time. They are enemies. If you are comfortable, you are not growing. If you are growing, you will be uncomfortable. I want you to learn to crave that discomfort. When you feel the urge to quit, I want you to smile. Because that feeling means you have reached the edge of your current ability. That feeling means you are at the gate of growth. If you turn around, you stay the same. If you push through, you become something new. Think about the most successful people you know. Do they have easy lives? No. They have the most stressful lives. They have the most responsibility. They have the most people counting on them. They have the most at risk. They are not successful because they avoided stress. They are successful because they built the mental calluses to handle more stress than anyone else. They expanded their capacity. The size of your life is determined by the amount of discomfort you can handle. If you can only handle a little bit of discomfort, your life will be small. You will have a small job, a small income, and small dreams. If you can handle massive discomfort, if you can handle the pressure of millions of dollars or the stress of leading thousands of people, your life will be massive. You must train for the life you want. You do not get the life you want by wishing for it. You get it by becoming the person who is capable of holding it. Imagine you were given $1 million today. If you have the mind of a poor person, you will lose that money in a year. You will spend it on comfort and toys because you cannot handle the stress of managing and growing that wealth. You will be crushed by the weight of the bull. But if you have spent years building your business, making mistakes, losing money and getting back up, you have the calluses. When the $1 million arrives, it feels light. You have already carried the weight. Action step number 4 is what I call the resistance audit. Every day, identify the point of most resistance. What is the one thing you are avoiding the most? Is it a difficult conversation? Is it a complex project? Is it a workout? That thing is your target. You must do that thing first. In the world of productivity, they call this eating the frog. If you have to eat a live frog, do it first thing in the morning. Then you can go through the rest of the day knowing that the worst part is over. If you leave the hard thing for the end of the day, it will drain your energy. It will sit in the back of your mind like a dark cloud. It will make you weak. By attacking the resistance head-on, you are building a callus on your willpower. You are proving to yourself that you are a person of action. Let us talk about the concept of the dark room. This is an exercise used by some elite athletes and thinkers. They will spend time in a completely dark and silent room. No phone, no music, no light. Just them and their thoughts. For a soft mind, this is torture. Within 10 minutes, they are crawling the walls. They are desperate for a distraction. They are desperate for a hit of dopamine. For a calloused mind, this is a place of power. This is where they confront their demons. This is where they plan their next move. This is where they realize that they are enough. I want you to try this. Sit in a dark room for 30 minutes. Do not meditate in a peaceful way. Just be there. Let the thoughts come. Let the anxiety rise. Watch it. Do not run from it. You will realize that your thoughts cannot hurt you. Your feelings cannot kill you. You are the observer of the storm, not the storm itself. This is the ultimate form of mental callousing. It is called self-mastery. When you master your own mind, you master the world. Because the world is just a reflection of your mind. If your mind is chaotic and weak, the world will seem chaotic and weak. If your mind is a fortress, the world is your playground. I want to give you a motivational truth. You are capable of so much more than you are currently doing. You are using about 10% of your true power. The other 90% is hidden behind a wall of comfort and fear. That wall is not made of stone, it is made of smoke. You can walk right through it, but it looks solid from a distance. Every time you choose the hard path, you take a step through the smoke. On the other side is a version of you that you cannot even imagine. A version of you that is strong, confident, and at peace. That version of you does not happen by accident. It is built, it is forged, it is calloused. Stop praying for an easy life. Stop asking for things to be fair. Stop waiting for someone to help you. The universe does not owe you anything. The world is a cold and hard place. But you are harder. You are colder. You are a force of nature. Embrace the friction, seek the struggle, build the calluses, When the world tries to break you, let it try. Let the world hit you with everything it has. Every blow it lands will only make your armor thicker. Every wound it gives you will turn into a callus that can never be hurt again. This is how you kill the weakness inside you. You do not kill it with kindness. You do not kill it with understanding. You kill it with the brutal weight of reality. You kill it by becoming a person who cannot be broken. You are the hammer and you are the anvil. You are the one doing the hitting and you are the one taking the hits. And through that process, you are creating a masterpiece. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about the final deadline. We are going to talk about the reality of your death. This is the ultimate weapon against weakness. When you realize that your time is running out, you stop playing games. You stop making excuses. You start living with a sense of urgency that will burn away every ounce of weakness left in your soul. But for now, I want you to go find some friction. Do the thing you are afraid of. Lift the heavy weight. Stay in the cold. Do not quit. Your mind is a muscle. Train it like one. Chapter 5. The Final Deadline. There is one truth that we all try to hide from. We pretend it is not there. We act as if it is a distant dream that will never arrive. But it is the only thing in this life that is guaranteed. You are going to die. This is not a dark thought. This is not meant to make you sad or depressed. In fact, if you use it correctly, it is the most powerful tool you have to kill the weakness inside you. The greatest weakness we have is the belief that we have time. We procrastinate because we think we have time. We stay in bad relationships because we think we have time. We eat poison and skip the gym because we think we will fix it tomorrow. But tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is not a place on the map. Tomorrow is a ghost that haunts the dreams of the weak. The strong understand that the clock is always ticking. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. Your life is a bank account that only allows withdrawals. You never know the balance. You do not know if you have 50 years left or 50 minutes. When you live with the final deadline in your mind, your perspective changes. The small things that used to scare you become tiny. The opinions of others become meaningless. The hesitation that holds you back disappears. You realize that you are currently in the process of disappearing. This chapter is about how to use the reality of death to fuel your life. It is about building urgency. It is about making sure that when you reach the end, you are empty because you gave everything you had to the world. Let us look at the math of your life. If you live to be 80 years old, you have about 4,000 weeks. That is it. 4,000 weeks to experience everything this world has to offer. For most of you listening to this, you have already used up 1,000 or 2,000 of those weeks. Think about how fast the last week went. Think about how fast the last year went. Time is accelerating. The older you get, the faster the clock spins. This is a psychological fact. When you are 5 years old, 1 year is 20% of your entire life. It feels like an eternity. When you are 50 years old, 1 year is only 2% of your life. It feels like a blink of an eye. You are running out of time faster than you realize. If you had a bank account that gave you $86,400 every single morning, but it wiped the balance clean every night, what would you do? You would spend every single cent. You would not let a single dollar go to waste. You have that bank account. It is called time. Every day you are given 86,400 seconds. At the end of the day, they are gone. You cannot save them. You cannot carry them over to the next day. You cannot borrow seconds from next week. You either use them or you lose them. Most people spend their seconds on things that do not matter. They spend them on mindless scrolling. They spend them on arguments with strangers. They spend them on worrying about things they cannot control. This is the ultimate form of weakness. It is the waste of the only thing you truly own. To kill this weakness, you must practice what the ancient philosophers called memento mori. This means remember that you must die. They would carry coins or skulls to remind them of their mortality. They did this so they would not waste their lives on trivial things. They did this so they would have the courage to speak their truth and do the hard work. Here is an actionable step you can take today. I want you to find a life calendar. You can find these online or draw one yourself. It is a single piece of paper with 4,000 small boxes on it. Each box represents 1 week of an 80-year life. I want you to cross out every box for the weeks you have already lived. Look at that paper. Look at the empty space that is left. That is your life. It is not an infinite ocean, it is a small bucket. Every week, you must cross out another box. This physical action forces your brain to confront the reality of the final deadline. It creates a healthy sense of panic. It makes you realize that you cannot afford to have a bad week. You cannot afford to spend a week being lazy or being afraid. Every box is a gift. Do not throw it in the trash. Now let us talk about regret. There was a nurse named Bronnie Ware who spent years working with people who were in the final weeks of their lives. She listened to their stories. She heard their deepest thoughts. She found that almost everyone had the same regrets. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. I want to go through these because they are the ultimate guide on how to live. The first regret was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This is the biggest weakness of all. Most people are living someone else's life. They chose their career because their parents wanted it. They dress a certain way because their friends do it. They stay in a box because society told them to stay there. When you are on your deathbed, the opinions of your neighbors will not matter. The expectations of your parents will not matter. The only thing that will matter is if you were brave enough to be who you truly are. If you are doing something right now only to please others, you are committing a slow suicide. You are killing your own potential to satisfy people who will not even be there at the end. Stop living for others. Start living for the person in the mirror. The second regret was, I wish I had not worked so hard. Now, this does not mean you should be lazy. These people did not regret working on their passion. They regretted working at a job they hated to buy things they did not need to impress people they did not like. They regretted missing the moments that truly mattered. They regretted missing their children growing up. They regretted missing the sunset. To kill the weakness of the grind, you must work with purpose. Do not just work to stay busy. Work to build something that gives you freedom. Work so that you can eventually spend your time on the things that give you joy. The third regret was, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. We hide our emotions. We do not tell people we love them. We do not tell people they hurt us. We keep everything inside because we are afraid of being vulnerable. This is weakness. Vulnerability is strength. It takes zero courage to be cold and distant. It takes massive courage to tell someone how you truly feel. Do not wait for the perfect moment to tell someone you love them. Tell them now. Do not wait to apologize. Do it now. The final deadline is coming, and you do not want to leave with words still stuck in your throat. The fourth regret was, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. We get busy. We let the weakness of the daily routine pull us away from the people who nourish our souls. We trade deep connection for superficial networking. In the end, your money will not sit with you in the hospital. Your house will not hold your hand. Your friends will. Prioritize your relationships. Invest in people. The fifth regret was, I wish I had let myself be happier. This is a profound realization. Happiness is a choice. It is a habit. It is not something that happens to you when you get the promotion or the car. Many people spend their whole lives waiting to be happy. They say, I will be happy when I retire. I will be happy when I get married. They realize too late that they could have been happy the whole time. The weakness inside you wants you to be miserable because misery is comfortable. Misery is easy. Happiness takes effort. It takes the discipline to focus on the good and the strength to let go of the bad. How do we avoid these regrets? We use a tool called the Regret Minimization Framework. This was made famous by Jeff Bezos. When he was deciding whether to start Amazon, he was scared. He had a good job. He had security. So he projected himself forward to age 80. He looked back at his life and asked, will I regret trying this and failing? The answer was no. Then he asked, will I regret not trying at all? The answer was yes. The thought of not trying haunted him more than the thought of failing. You should use this framework for every major decision in your life. When you are afraid to start that business, ask your 80-year-old self. When you are afraid to ask that person out, ask your 80-year-old self. Your future self is wiser than you. Your future self knows that failure is just a story, but regret is a poison. Another actionable step is to write your own obituary. This might seem strange, but it is a powerful exercise in clarity. Write down what you want people to say about you when you are gone. Did you help people? Were you strong? Were you a leader? Did you follow your dreams? Now, look at your current life. Are you living in a way that will make that obituary come true? If you died today, what would people actually say? If there is a gap between what you want them to say and what they would say, that gap is your weakness. You must spend the rest of your life closing that gap. We often use the word someday. Someday I will travel, someday I will get in shape, someday I will start that project. Look at a calendar, look at the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you see someday on there? No, someday does not exist. It is a trap. It is a way for your brain to feel good about an action it never intends to take. You must replace the word someday with today or a specific date. If it is not on the calendar, it is not real. The weakness inside you loves the infinite. It loves the idea that you have forever. You must force it to face the finite. You must live with urgency. Urgency is the antidote to procrastination. When you have a deadline, you get the work done. The problem is that we think the deadline for our life is far away. We act like we are immortal. There is a story of a great general who was leading his men into a battle. They were outnumbered. They were tired. They had to cross a sea to reach the battlefield. When they landed on the shore, the general gave a command: burn the ships. He wanted his men to know that there was no way back. They either had to win or they had to die. By burning the ships, He removed the option of retreat. He removed the weakness of the safety net. You need to burn your ships. You need to remove the options that allow you to be weak. Stop giving yourself a back door. Stop having a plan B that involves quitting. When you realize that the only way is forward, you find a strength you never knew you had. The final deadline is not an enemy. It is a teacher. It teaches you that every moment is precious. It teaches you that you have no time for small talk, small people, or small dreams. It teaches you that the greatest risk is not taking a risk at all. You are a biological miracle. The odds of you being born are 1 in 400 trillion. You won the lottery just by existing. Do not waste that miracle by being mediocre. Do not waste it by letting the weakness inside you win. The battle is hard. The biology is against you. The environment is against you. Your own feelings are against you, but you have the power to overcome all of it. You have the power to build a mind of steel and a heart of fire. I want you to take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. That is the feeling of being alive. That is the feeling of having a chance. Many people did not wake up this morning. Many people would give everything they have for one more day of your life. One more day of your health. One more day of your potential. Do not disrespect them by being weak. Go out and live a life that makes death tremble. Live a life that is so full and so powerful that when the final deadline arrives, you can look it in the eye and say, I am ready. I used it all. I left nothing on the table. You are the author of this book. The chapters you have heard are just the beginning. The real story is what you do after the audio stops. The real story is the person you become. The real story is the legacy you leave behind. Kill the weakness. Choose the strength. Do it now. You have reached the end of this journey, but your transformation is just beginning. If this message moved you, and if you are ready to take control of your destiny, make sure to stay connected with us. We are dedicated to bringing you the truth and the tools you need to become the best version of yourself. Support the mission by showing that you are part of this community. We will see you in the next chapter of your growth. Until then, stay strong and stay urgent. Thank you for listening to William's Audiobooks.